The extended edition of the Battle of the Five Armies adds over 20 minutes of new footage, making this the most expansive and battle-heavy entry in the Hobbit trilogy. This version includes brutal battle sequences, political maneuvering, and character-driven scenes that were missing in the theatrical cut, especially for Dain Ironfoot and Thorin's descent into madness. The film becomes a full-on war epic, resembling Return of the King in scale, though without its emotional complexity. While the battle choreography is grand, the extended runtime stretches thin over what is essentially the last few chapters of Tolkien's short book. Epic in scale, but sometimes bloated. An epic finale that feels padded rather than profound. Tolkien's original chapters on the battle are brief and understated, focused mostly from Bilbo's perspective, and ending quickly after Thorin's death. Peter Jackson, however, turns that moment into an extended, chaotic war saga, adding side plots, heroic duels, and military strategies that never appeared in the book. Characters like Legolas, Tauriel, and Azog are used heavily, even though they're not in the original story. Tolkien purists criticize this deviation, saying the film sacrifices heart and character for spectacle. On the other hand, fans of The Lord of the Rings appreciate the connective tissue this film tries to provide between the two trilogies. It's Tolkien in spirit, but Jackson's version is more concerned with cinematic grandeur than the quiet resolution Tolkien intended. Martin Freeman remains the emotional center of the trilogy. His final scenes as Bilbo, grieving Thorin and returning home, are touching and deeply human. Richard Armitage gives his best performance of the trilogy, showing Thorin's descent into gold madness and eventual redemption. His final duel with Azog, though overlong, is emotionally charged. Lee Pace, Thranduil, is commanding and cold, and his late emotional turn adds depth. Luke Evans shines as Bard, carrying the weight of Lake Town's survival and becoming the film's moral compass. Evangeline Lilly does her best with underwritten material. Tauriel's arc remains the weakest, but her grief adds some pathos. Strong performances all around, particularly from Freeman and Armitage, though some arcs suffer under the weight of bloated plotting. Visually, the Battle of the Five Armies is a mixed bag. The wide shots of Erebor, ice-covered lakes, and sprawling armies are impressive. The action is non-stop. Orcs, dwarves, elves, and men clash in beautifully choreographed chaos. But the overuse of CGI, especially during Legolas's gravity-defying stunts and the monstrous warbeasts, often breaks immersion. Azog, the central villain, is a pure CGI creation with limited depth. He's more of a physical threat than a character. Compared to Lotiar's villains like Saruman or Sauron, Azog is forgettable despite his screen time. Verdict: stunning visuals, but often overwhelming and weightless due to excessive digital effects. Azog is visually intimidating, but narratively thin. The film was divisive. Casual viewers enjoyed the action-packed finale, while Tolkien fans felt emotionally shortchanged. Critics were more negative, citing the film's lack of narrative focus, inflated runtime, and battle fatigue. The extended edition, however, is slightly better received. It adds needed context and character closure missing from the theatrical cut. For many, this finale feels like Jackson trying to recapture Lauder's thunder, but without its narrative and thematic resonance. The Battle of the Five Armies, extended edition, is an ambitious, visually spectacular conclusion that delivers on scale and action, but falls short on emotional impact and character depth. While Martin Freeman and Richard Armitage elevate the film with heartfelt performances, the film's obsession with CGI battles and subplots waters down Tolkien's original message of loss, humility, and homecoming. Film rating 7 out of 10.